between 2 and 3. The golf course is having a Valentine's Day dinner, and they're completely packed tonight, and we need to get Mr. Todd and his little wife back over the white tables or clear tables or something, so.
All the above.
Okay, I'm ready.
Ready? All right,
Yep.
first item is,
Wait a minute, we gotta do roll call. Oh,
yeah, roll call.
okay, sorry. February the 14th, 2022, Town Council meeting. Jason Little.
Here.
Trish Ball.
Here.
Mike Johannes.
Here.
Kevin Burke.
Here.
And Seth Wendell.
Here.
Everybody here. Well, first item we're going to move to is the board minutes. We have the regular meeting minutes from November 8th, the regular meeting minutes from December 13th, and our year-end meeting minutes from 12/29.
Yeah,
Make a
motion.
motion to approve the minutes for 11/8/2021, regular meeting minutes.
Second it.
We have a first and second. Anybody have questions? All in favor, saying aye.
Aye.
None opposed?
Make a motion to approve 12/13/2021 meeting minutes.
Second it.
We have a first and second. Anyone have questions? All in favor?
Aye.
None opposed?
Make a motion to approve 12/29/2021 year-end meeting minutes.
And I'll second it.
We have a first and second. All in favor?
Aye.
None opposed? All right. Thank you. Todd, you want to come up here? The golf course has been working with the county and the Chamber of Commerce and LADC to apply for a READY grant. And I believe this is the information, and they have a letter that they would like for the council to endorse their application to get READY grant to help develop the golf course.
You have another one or not? No. Oh, wait,
No.
oh, wait. I'll get it later. I'll get it from one of those guys.
Yeah, Todd.
I'm Todd Napier with General Partner of Act 9 Development. I'm here looking for a letter of intent and support for our development. As Mr. Johannes said, we are working with LADC and Chamber and working on getting a READY grant for infrastructure on a future site for a subdivision, which would be permanent housing and permanent condos down the road. Not to throw anybody underneath the bus here, we're waiting for some final drawings to be able to present to, for our zoning appeal and that. But just here for support, I do have a letter from the county commissioners in support for the READY grant and what we're trying to do.
Okay, and you'll get us a copy of that?
Yes, I am picking that up actually tomorrow.
Okay, and then you get a copy of that, though.
Yes, I will have copies for you tomorrow, or Wednesday morning.
Do we remember, can you refresh our memory a little bit? I mean, Valerie Schmidt was here back, I don't know, 6, 7 months ago
Yes.
about how the READY grant, how the matches are and that kind of stuff.
60, 20, 20.
Yeah,
This is-
but
this is-
which 60, who's 20 and
We're
20?
60,
Okay,
20 is the town, and 20 is the community, or the state.
is what?
20 is the town and 20 is the state.
The state, okay.
Okay.
I'll have a better copy eventually.
Yeah. You can, I know it's got, so.
And-
Just so everybody knows, we are Midwest Engineers doing all of our design and architect for us.
So we'll entertain a motion. For the grant application.
That's what I just said. That's what I just said.
Nothing's just saying that we are supporting.
There's no money or no nothing
There's
from
no
them.
money or anything involved. It's just-
Not in the future, nothing ever?
No,
No.
You're just wanting a letter of support from the
Yes.
town? I thought the way the grant read, though, it is a local, that there is a 20%
we
local
will
match.
have to go, I will have to do that later on.
Yeah, it's not, we're not making it.
No,
I
there's-
talked to Lisa.
There's no
Okay.
What
fund
makes the local match then? The $1 million?
We will,
Yeah.
You know, golf course well?
yes,
Okay.
yes. There's no,
We're fine. I
the town has no out-of-pocket expenses with any of this letter of.
Okay.
We just help you get the grant so you can,
A letter of support, because it is in the town.
Yes, the county's not responsible, no
Okay.
one's.
I make a motion that we approve the letter of support for the golf course for
Second.
the future development.
First and second, anybody else have questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? And motion passes. We'll just copy that letter.
And I'll bring it Wednesday morning to you guys.
Clear cut.
All right, now we'll be back on the agenda for number 3, ordinance 2022-01, the second reading and adoption of the KDC annexation. Kevin?
It is ordinance 2022-01, and ordinance annexing certain contiguous unplatted real estate to the corporate limits of the town of Snata, Indiana. You have your first reading on this, which, as you recall, you had to wait 14 days before you could actually pass it. So this does annex the 30.43 acres and zones it as an amusement upon its annexation.
I make a motion that we approve the second reading of 2022-01.
Second.
We have first and second. Any comments from the council?
Is that intended for amusement?
Kevin just said it would be zone amusement.
I know, that's not what I asked. Is it intended for amusement?
If you zone it that way, they have to make amusement, is that correct, right?
Or they have to come back and request
Some
something.
business that is, related to the park.
That's related to amusement.
Okay.
Okay, that's what I needed.
I mean, they park monitor all those.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right, we have a first and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Ordinance 2021-01 has been passed. All right, we're going to move on to number 4, which is public hearing for reestablishment of the CCD fund at the nickel. Go ahead, Kevin.
We want to call your public hearing in order and ask for public comment.
All right, we'll do that. We call a public meeting, you have the right to speak on this because it's a tax. So if there's anybody out there that wants to ask questions or comments about the reestablishment of this fund, you're welcome to ask whatever questions you want. All right,
Make a motion that we close the public hearing.
Second.
we have a first and second, all in favor?
Aye.
The public hearing is closed at 5:39. All right, now we'll move to
Second reading
ordinance.
adoption.
reading and adoption of the
It's ordinance 2022-02, and ordinance amending chapter 1.62 of the municipal code of Santa Claus, readopting the cumulative capital development fund. This up for your second reading and adoption.
Make a motion we approve ordinance 2022-02, the second reading adoption of the reestablish the CCD at .05.
Second.
we have a first and second.
Jason.
Jason, got a second.
I got it.
Any questions from any council member?
Just FYI, that now has, you now have to publish a notice in the newspaper that you've done this, and then 50 taxpayers can file a remonstrance against it. But then it goes to the DLGF, which also has to approve it, which I don't know if they've ever written that one, but there are some legislative hurdles to get through.
Hopefully, they're changing that. That's one thing that they've discussed to us, that we may not have to reestablish this anymore. The House is working, it's kind of dumb to
This is
have to
not a new
reestablish
tax,
it,
it's
but,
something we've always had, but you have to.
yeah, every 3 or 4 years.
Back and reestablish it, so. All right, everyone's in favor of this?
Yes.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, we're gonna move on to ordinance 2022-03, second reading and adoption of financial institutions.
No, probably hasn't.
Okay. So we have ordinance of the town of Santa Claus, Town Council, establishing the financial institution for the public monies of the town with Spencer County Bank will be our depository, and they are approved bank.
Make a motion to approve ordinance 2022-03, the second reading and adoption of the financial institution.
I'll second it.
We have a first and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay.
With one abstention, so it's 4-1. All right, Kevin, we're ready to move on, wastewater bids for capital improvement. John,
Yeah, thank you.
thank you.
My name is John Wetzel, and I'm one of the project engineers with Midwestern Engineers for the wastewater improvement project. Before I open them, I just want to make a real quick, give a brief background on that project, what it consists of, and what we open tonight. It consists of rehabilitation of 3 lift stations. First one is lift station number 1, which is along south of the lake, Melchior Drive, about 1.5 mile west of the dam. Small lift station that pumps about 80 to 100 gallon a minute, serves roughly 40 to 45 homes right now. It was put in back in the 70s, wet well, dry well, rehabbing it, making it a submersible station. Kind of a tough site between the roadway, between the lake. Don't have a lot of room there, so we're going to try to reuse the existing wet well. There will be temporary pumping when the work is going on. Second thing we're doing is lift station number 3. Again, that's on the south side of the lake. That's kind of across from the rec center on the south side of the lake there. It's a big lift station, one of your main ones. Pumps about 1,500 gallon a minute. And what we're doing there is putting a permanent generator on site. So power goes out, it immediately kicks it over. That takes a lot of flow into the town, so that's pretty important to have that generator there. And then the last lift station we're working on is lift station number 4, which is south of Kimball. I think that's County Road, it's gravel road. I want to say it's County Road 1540. It's a little bit west of the village. All the flow from kind of the school, Lincoln Park, eventually comes into that lift station. Again, that was put in roughly in the 70s. And doing the same thing there, we're making a submersible lift station. The way we're rehabbing that, we had a little bit more room there, so we're looking to build the new station, and then once it gets built, put the flow into that, so very little, if at all, temporary pumping necessary on that. The bids will open tonight. We're going to read 3 numbers. First is the base bid. The base bid is the entire work for the project. That includes all 3 lift station rehab, so that'll be a total that we read. Second thing we'll read is an alternate A bid. The alternate A bid is for lift station number 4. If we rock the site and put a fence around it. That fence would be roughly 60 by 70 feet or so it'd be all rock on the site. We put a fence up around it. And then mandatory alternate B, that is if we put a flow meter in at that lift station number 4 as well. So those would be the 3 numbers that Kevin will read off tonight. And if anybody wants one, there's a bid form here for the wastewater, if you want to keep track of those. If anybody doesn't have this, if anybody needs it, pass it out before you open it.
So bid A, it will be everything plus that, and bid B is everything plus A.
No, the total base bid will be from all 3 lift stations. A will be an additive bid.
Just the addition for that.
Just
part.
the addition for the
Okay.
rock and the fence. B will be an additive bid just for the flow meter and flow meter pit. Yeah. So if you want to do everything, you would have to add those 3 together.
Or you can do B or A or.
Yeah, it's either, you can base the award, if you get to that point where you want to make an award, you could do it either on the base bid or the base bid with any combination of alternate bids. All right. Any other questions? All right, thanks.
Okay. You have 3 bid packages. Kevin, I mean, the session is real true. The money to pay for this is coming from the money that we.
The bonds from the capital. Yeah.
Okay. We redid some bonds and issued some new bonds last year, and that money is going on some of these improvements. Okay, sorry. Okay.
You only received 3 bids, you have 3 bids listed on it. First is Guy Brothers, out of Arizona, Indiana. Okay, so the total base bid is $947,990. Alternate A is $23,920. And alternate B is $62,885. Second is from Mac Construction out of New Albany, Indiana. Base bid is $949,350. Alt A is $41,233. And Alt B is $60,000. Third packet is from Regal Inc. out of Weaver, Indiana. Base bid of $1,010,000. $1,100,000. Alt A, $30,000. And Alt B, $60,000.
How much were you planning on spending this?
We had, well, the overall bond amount is just a bit more than $5 million, so we're going to try to spread that out over 3 years. For fiscal year '22, I had $1.6 million.
But that's more than this, or just for this, at 1.6?
Well, I had some line rehabs to do as well,
Right,
so yeah.
We're rebuilding those stations, very important.
It's critical, and I want to make a couple of notes just to back up what John had said. The two lift stations are what we call dry well, wet well. Again, those are 69 or 67 use technology. Right now, if we had a major component of this go out, we have to have a custom fabricated to make those parts. Safety hazard, and you guys can pull down his hand. Like you said, number 3 lift station, we have 12 other lift stations that pump to that station. So it's critical that we have backup power generation there as well.
Gonna be natural gas generator.
No, I think it's diesel, isn't it?
And what would be the purpose of the flow meter then?
Flow meter, we use those in our monitoring inflow and infiltration. Again, what we typically do is I will get with the girls at the town hall and say, look, how much water did we sell to this particular service? So I basically unscientifically compare what water we sold versus what we pumped, and just way of monitoring that.
So you have to get in. Okay.
Out of that $1,600,000, how much did you anticipate going to the other projects?
I didn't know. I was gonna take a wait and see attitude, see where these came in. So, I mean, I think they're a little high, but not for the current economic, environment that we're in. I think it's, it's worth a look,
Have you had Dyke Brothers do stuff for you?
Oh, yeah. They did actually phase 1 back in the late 90s, so we're
Good work.
So your confidence is good in that?
absolutely.
I'll make a motion that we accept the low bidder, Dyke Brothers, pending Russ's,
No.
inspection of the bid.
Do we have to make that on total base, mandatory A,
With
mandatory?
Alt A and Alt B.
With both, okay.
Is that good for you, John? Do that?
It's up to,
Yeah.
you guys
What-
want.
You added to it, what did you say,
With
Bill?
all B and all A.
With all parts.
Hey, Russ, is the, power generation, is that in concrete there? I see a few issues with the diesel generator. One,
Typically, they're
getting fuel out
set
there
on a
too.
concrete pad with footer, et cetera. Now, there are, like motor mounts, if you will.
Well, I'm asking about how to fuel it. I mean, is there a natural gas line anywhere close that we could? Diesel fuel's gonna run out. It's gonna have to be maintained as far as somebody bringing fuel to it.
We currently have diesel generators.
Already in place?
Oh, yeah, yeah.
We don't have.
Yeah, so yeah, I mean, you gotta monitor the fuel, make sure algae doesn't grow, you gotta make sure moisture's not getting in it. We have, a company out of Evansville, which done the periodic maintenance checks, et cetera, on them as well.
Fair enough.
I second Seth's motion.
Ask that question? All in favor of accepting the bid? Everybody saying aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? No, motion carries. It's accepted. Thank you, Russ. We're going to move on to item number 7, Yellow Trail bid opening. Just to reference this has been going on for quite a number of years to rehab some of the trails that are inside of Yellow Park. The one that goes up around the corner, I guess Frank's gonna talk about more details.
Kind of a brief overview. Of course, I was here last September when we had the bid opening. Bids came in significantly higher than expected. A couple of reasons, of course, the dynamic that we're seeing. We just saw it tonight on the wastewater. The other thing too, when we got into design, DNR required us to go ahead and, the concrete, if you're on the north side of Ashburn, on the west side, there's that concrete section. It's not ADA compliant. So we hope not to touch it with this project. DNR made us kind of regrade that area and make it compliant. So that was also another reason for the increased bids that we saw last September. With that said, Russ and I put out the bid that we're gonna be opening tonight, and basically broke that project up into 4 sections. The base bid section that you're gonna hear the bids on tonight, that is the trail that's north of Ashburn. And then also the crossings with Ashburn, making those ADA compliant. That is the base bid. And there's also gonna be 3 mandatory alternate bids. Mandatory alternate bid B is for replacement of the trail on what's kind of the east end, on the south side of Ashburn. There's a little section there where the parking is, kind of by the maintenance garage there. And then mandatory alternate C is then on the west end, kind of where the 2 bridges are that tie into the yellow trail that was done through NDOT a couple of years ago. That would be mandatory alternate C. And the mandatory alternate D is parking lot and kind of making some of those areas ADA compliant as well. So those are the bids that you're going to hear Mr. Pat Maureen here in just a minute. Any questions before we do that? I guess one thing, any contractors that need a bid form? Okay.
Your first bid, I'm just saying in order on the bid sheet, is Keys Construction out of Jasper, Indiana. The base bid of $329,130. I'm sorry, that's total. Base bid of $155,985.
Was that again, Karen, 155?
$155,985. Alt item B, $24,850. Alt C of $82,745. Alt D, $65,550.
Could you repeat the 585? 985?
$155,985.
Now, Alt C was where it hooks to the newly built, I mean,
The
the
two
trail
bridges.
that goes.
That's the parking lot, ADA.
I thought that
No,
was
it's the
D.
two bridges.
Yeah, it's the bridges.
It's the
C
That
is.
should be C.
Yes,
That's
C
the
is the two
bridges.
bridges.
That should be C.
What's the grant? How much is the grant?
Total $188,000 on all funding.
188 total.
We put in Santa Trails, Santa Claus Trails, Town Santa Claus Trails, put in 30, and we had 150 for the grant itself.
151 from the grant, yep.
The next bid packet is from Quality Craft Construction, out of Dale, Indiana. Base bid of $104,779.38. $104,779.38. Alt B, $21,620.42. That's $21,620.42. Alt C, $89,099.46. That's $89,099.46. And Alt D, $51,121.85. That's $51,121.85. Questions? Repeats? The third packet is from Rabel Inc., Newburgh, Indiana. Base bid, $218,000. That's $218,000. Alt B, $27,500. It's $27,500. Alt C, $95,000. And Alt D, $17,000.
Wow, that's different. That doesn't make sense.
That's illogical.
What was it make?
218,000.
No, it's, no, that makes no sense.
Zach, what are the most important alternates on that?
That'd be a question for us as a start before I ever start. I mean. in my
Yeah,
personal
it's been going
opinion,
on for, what, 4 years?
I mean, I think there's enough changes going on now, the park will go too crazy. There's enough stuff that's gonna be happening in the next 5 years, the stuff on the east side of the trail is probably the most critical.
I agree with that.
Probably get pushed out, probably get eliminated anyway
The
eventually.
change, yeah.
They have it already.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's correct.
That's really, we budgeted 131,000.
81 total.
Well, technically, we, out of the Park and Rec, they out of their, special fund,
Have 8,000.
have the 8,000 that was supposed to add to it. And so we were supposed to make up the difference from the 151 and their 8,000, the balance.
And that's what, 30,000 we got from Trails of Santa Claus.
Yes, that's correct. That's sitting in there. Which we've spent some of it with the DNR. I mean, we've had a few, I think, there's been $10,000, I think, run through there. Does that sound right? Yeah,
Yeah, correct. And then environmental review.
right, yeah.
I mean, just looking at the low bid, the base bid of Quality Craft, 105,000 roughly. And then if you look at D, which is the parking lot, that would pretty much put it right at the funds we've got available. That would probably be my recommendation to the council. If Rusty.
Yeah, that's what I would say.
Mm-hmm.
How long are the bids good for?
90 days.
I mean,
I'll make a motion that we accept base bid item A and bid item D from Quality Craft Construction.
So, Zach, you get that?
The base and D.
Second.
Yeah.
Right, questions?
And that's with Quality
All in
Craft.
favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Okay.
Somebody, Zach, and Gwen will deal with the bids to make sure they're.
Yeah, I'll need to review those to make sure they've met all of our requirements, of course, for bid bond, and various other items as well. And we'll have to get that information turned over to DNR as well. And I'll make an official recommendation.
I'll confer with Russ, we'll probably leave that to Russ, because this is kind of vendors.
With both of those bids, we just need to make sure we do have updated liability insurance, all that good stuff, W-9s, the paperwork we need.
All right, we're ready to move on to comments from President. The first one is, the President of the Council has the authority to appoint somebody to the Tourism Commission. And I appointed Natalie Cohen-King to continue in that position. She's already had somebody else's partial. So she'll be our representative in tourism commission for 2 more years. Right.
Yeah, it's a 2-year. Mhm.
Holiday World donation letter for trails. I've not talked to Ashley or Matt Taylor lately, but I will try to get to them both this week. So thank you, Matt, for allowing them to work with us, or Ashley to work with us without any charge. The last thing is Riverview Dale Town Council update. There's no update. I have no communication with them at any time, any fashion. So, all right.
Pretty much my Randy Baldwin's regarding the review. I appreciate you bringing this up to speed on the fact that there's nothing new from Dale. Has the council been contacted at all from Representative Bartel about, running anything? Okay. Thanks.
So I have not been contacted by any.
Okay, thank you.
All right, we'll move on to our regular order of business. Reports, first up, fire department, Max.
You've got my monthly report for January. We had 6 first responder runs, a CO run, and a escort for the high school sports.
All right. Anything else?
We did apply for an ASD grant. Thank you, Kevin and Kelly, for helping, for new SCBA's. We've got obsoleted SCBA's, so we're trying to get a assistance to firefighters grant for that. So,
Have we recently updated some of those?
we got new, tanks and everybody masks, our own masks. We used to share masks. We're not doing that anymore. But that's all I have except for the accident and sickness insurance.
And when does this, Kelly, this
No, that-
expires?
The accident and sickness, that was, it's the death benefit in the it's due March 1st, right? I mean, Mike?
Yes.
Is it at the accident? Okay, okay, sorry. Yes, it's due March 1st.
Really the accidental death and disability.
That's what I was thinking, that accidental death.
Death and disability.
See you guys.
I'm worried to give them all.
Take these to file our bid tag, and we'll get them back to you tomorrow.
The bin can take those.
Wastewater.
Usually they're not supposed to go out of the town. We can make copies for you.
That's all right, we were just trying to make up the bid tag.
Right,
and stuff, and
right. I mean, that the council approves it. Let them approve it. If they want to approve it, that John can take them. That's,
I make a motion that we approve Midwest Engineering to take the bids and bring back as soon as it's done.
We'll get these, with the original, we'll make copies for ourselves tomorrow. I'll bring those back, get back to Russ by tomorrow evening.
Second.
well, they go here, and then I can make him copies, because the originals have to stay. Okay.
Second, all in favor?
Aye.
All right, so,
Are you? Everyone on the same page.
That's right, that's right.
back to the fire department, accident and sickness insurance, is this, comes up on March 1st?
March 1st is when it's due, yes.
Okay.
There's two parts to the coverage, the
Can
medical.
you come over here with mine, because it's important.
Thank you.
There's actually two policies, two parts of this for the fire department. The medical is under the workers' comp, which was due January the 1st, and it was paid. It's paid until January 1st of 2023. And then this is it's called the accident and sickness policy, which covers basically accidental death and disability. There's some other things, but that's really what it is, and that is March the 1st. Okay, they go together, but it has different dates. So,
And are you currently writing the policy?
yes, I don't know how long it's been. I talked to Derek Ackerman today, he's been with Downey 29 years. I've had it for 29, and he said it was there when I had it, so it's 30-some plus years that we've had it. I've been with the agency 42, so maybe 42 years, I don't know. It's been a long time. It's always been with VFIS. They were the first in the country to develop a program for fire departments. Several others have come since then. So the premium is the same as last year, $2,284 is what it is.
Okay.
So,
Now, does the fire department or the town pay the premium?
We do.
Comes out of the, we got a line item.
Comes out of the insurance line on it. Mm-hmm. But I think that Max, did you ask for another quote or something? Because
No,
there was emailed a quote to us,
I don't know what the deal is with indemnity.
amenity, yeah.
And she put in a quote or a letter to you for the insurance too. So, I think everybody got that.
Is that an
I don't think
expected
that was that
No.
email, that wasn't emailed to anybody. That was just it sent to you because you're the one over the fire department.
Right.
Both
But
emails.
another agent interested.
He's looking at 2,284 approximately what is expected for the amount of money for the insurance. Is that money number right on?
That's what this premium's been before, that you have the other one. Alls I did was print them off.
In addition to the current plan, the policy is currently 284. The Provident, it's through Provident, the 3-year rate guarantee of $19.30 per year. And it's like a $350 difference. But reading through her coverages,
Yeah, I was looking at that. It's not
everything's
apples
up to, without a policy to compare. I have VFIS's policy, and it's very, without comparing policy to policy, we're just getting a cover page here, up to, there's no, and like I said, we've had VFIS for so long.
Yeah, I feel that we need to start with GIS.
And I use all their videos. I got a whole library full of their videos, we go to their classes. I mean, driving, I'm a VFX driving instructor, and I get all their videos, DVDs, and, I mean, they offer a lot more than just, you know, our insurance. Training, and we're very, very happy with them.
If you're happy with them, I don't see a reason to switch for a couple $100.
Just a
Make a motion.
Make a motion, we approve the bid from, is it VFI, or the quote from VFIS, VFIS?
BFIS,
VFIS,
volunteer.
Second.
For the $2,284.
yes.
I second that.
I have first and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mike.
Thank you.
Thanks, Mike.
Appreciate you
No problem, thank you.
All right, we'll move on to Parks and Rec and Community Center. Zach.
So you've got my report, seen a lot of ticket memberships again this month, which is pretty common now for the college kids that went back to school. Basically, just, usually take a downturn for January and then come back up in February. So, as far as projects, we've been, working on the remodel of the community center. Just took the scissor lift back last week, we got all the painting done, in the large room, in the kitchen, and got drop ceiling put in the kitchen, so we're moving right along. Got some treadmills coming hopefully this week, and then next week we should have rubber flooring, coming in, so we can start working on that, so we're moving along. Otherwise, got some trash cans for the park, 24 trash cans came in today. We'll be using, our $2,500 grant, from Southern Indiana Power to help pay for that. That was $1,500 will come out of our budget. So, should be a nice help for larger events and tournaments, just keeping trash from piling up. So, with the limited labor force that we've got, so.
So what's the rubber flooring on, like one of those piles you put in, or is it board, or what is it?
So it actually comes in 4-foot wide rolls, and then basically the spec that we send out, they figure out how many 25 and 50-foot lengths that we need to minimize the amount of cutting we've got to do, and then they'll basically tell us the most efficient way to lay it out. So we'll glue it down, roll it out.
Roll it out and put it down.
Yeah. So.
trash cans, will they be out all the time, or
Yeah.
put them out just for these events, or?
They'll be out all the time, yep. So we've got 24 of them. Basically, they're steel drums with a plastic dome lid, which is, we've got the plastic dome lids on the existing trash cans in the park. So basically keep rainwater out. And they're also larger capacity, the 55 gallons, 32 gallons. So, yeah, it'll be, well, we're hoping to, there's, always instances of litter. So we're hoping if we can have a few more trash cans, it might take another 2 steps and throw your trash away and stuff on the ground. But, yeah, overall, things are moving along pretty well. The only items that I have, I guess I will mention that the park board authorized me to hire 5 employees for the upcoming season at up to 15 an hour. So we'll see how that goes. Basically, my plan is 4 part-time concession staff and then 1 seasonal labor just for mowing, mulch, painting, that kind of stuff. The other item is the concession pricing for 2022. I believe you all have that. Really the only changes from last year are kind of in the snack portion. Prices are going up, and we're trying to basically avoid having to go to loose change. It's a lot easier for us, it's easier for the clerk treasurer department. So with that in mind, the park board is recommending the following prices. The only changes from last year, sunflower seeds, giant popsicle, candy, and chips, recommending a raise from $1 to $2 to $2 or $3. So basically just trying to make it to where we can actually make anything on it instead of just giving it away basically at cost. So.
I have a question that's not going to be very popular, I don't think, but I want to get Kevin's thoughts on it. I believe that there's a state law that says that you can't include sales tax in a final price like this. You have to break it down between what the price is plus the sales tax. So even though you say it's $3, you have to show someplace that that is, $1.85 plus whatever the tax is that right, Kevin?
Well, he's got, I mean, down here where it says all sales include sales tax, that's what's always been done before on the big, board they have.
Yeah, I've just been going off of what's been done in the past, so I can change it.
I can say that's probably been done for 20-some years.
Yeah, it's not, I brought this up.
0.9, multiplied by 0.93, and
And you are supposed to break it down.
Okay. So, I mean, but whatever Kevin advises is fine, but I just want to point it out that whenever I've dealt with this other places, you have to show the actual amount of the sales tax in the transaction.
I know the school doesn't do it.
Yeah.
They don't do it.
No, so
No.
can you just put, include 7% sales tax?
Well, you can just put the prices as being the 93% of that, and charge sales tax, which makes it even.
Yeah.
That's how you're supposed to.
93.5 cents.
Yeah. That's how you're actually supposed to do it.
Okay,
List the price. List
so
the
what
price.
can we do that makes it?
You don't have to list the amount of sales tax, you can list just what you're charging for the good, but then the sales tax is 7% of the charge.
So instead of just saying at the bottom, all sales include sales tax, just put 7% sales
That's how
tax.
you're supposed to do it.
All right.
But you gotta change your prices and or else you're gonna be getting pennies from everybody. But then it'll be pretty funny.
No.
I was gonna say, then you're going right to where they didn't wanna go, is the
I know.
change, right?
Well, there's gonna come up to be the even dollars once you add sales tax.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you listed
So you could have
93.5
a price, and
cents.
a price with sales tax, and have the even numbers off to the, have one column that says price of the goods,
Yeah.
and that extra
I mean,
price
for
of
their
the sales
purposes,
tax.
even if it's a fraction of a cent, they won't care because their final price is going to be $2.
Yeah. That's fine.
That's probably the easiest way, so a kid doesn't know when they're buying, I need money, it's like half cents.
I mean, they still will, it's inevitable.
Yes,
probably,
it is.
yeah.
Right.
I had a question for you, or do we need to prove this?
I thought we made that change, Kevin. Didn't you say that technically the park board, just as long as the council doesn't have to approve this?
They don't approve, they just have to.
Okay, just show it to them. Okay,
Okay.
all right.
Well, I've been advised.
It's really.
Okay.
I had a question, and because I have an invested interest in this, but, you know, like, for example, Glenvall's Tree and Stone
Yes.
got moved. What is the plan for those things?
So we are going to be expanding the landscaping up by the shelter house by the road.
Okay.
And we're going to be adding there, basically, we're going to put more rock down and then get more decorative.
Okay.
Yeah, we've just been up to our necks.
What, I know, what reminded me of it was as you go into the high school, we had trees planted for teachers and students who had passed, and they're not there anymore.
Oh, so you're saying they took them out and they never put them back?
I don't know where they are, so all I'm saying is, and I thought, wait,
We'll get, yeah, we're getting there. Yeah,
okay,
that's on my
I
list.
knew it was, I just wanted to know the plan.
Yep.
Anything else, Zach?
No, that's all I've got. There's no more questions.
Five, so move on to building inspector and zoning administrator, do you have anything?
You got my report. Any questions on that? I do have there's no questions there. I do have a question on the house on Ornament Circle, is that?
726, right?
The house?
Yes.
I know that number by heart, 726. Yes, the abandoned need.
I've been questioned by Fifth Third or a representative of Fifth Third whether or not they would be, they want to sell it. And they want to put it on the market, so whether or not there are any fines currently, which the letter that was
Yeah.
sent, I believe was sent on October the 22nd. The letter states the authority could.
They did impose that in December, right, at the December meeting.
Right, and then $1,000 every 90 days. So,
As of right now, it's $2,500 in fines plus the $10,000 average processing expense. So as of right now, there's 12,500.
Tell me the 10,000, say,
That's the average processing expense.
average processing.
If you look online, it's listed already,
It's already listed
It's
today.
already listed.
Yeah, it's listed as
How much?
55,000. I shall see the picture.
I've talked to the realtor, she said she has recommended to them that it gets bulldozed over. She said there is no way.
It's not safe, I've been in it
But
times now.
But now, if we deem it unsafe, and if it is unsafe, then they can't turn around and sell that to somebody, can they?
If they can sell it, they have to notify the person of the fact that it's been used to be an unsafe building.
And the fines behind it, they have to pay us.
And that's what she's disclosing every bit of it. She was just asking for warnings.
But you've got a town ordinance that covers being able to destroy that house right now. They are posting pictures of it, the way it is, with the holes in the floor, but it doesn't talk about the water problems underneath the house. And I thought I was going to say, it was 57, whatever it is, way over what it's valued at.
I mean, nobody would ever buy that for
Our
55,000.
position from the village is, we'd like to see the doggone thing gone, because how long are we gonna drag this thing out? It's already been dragged out for a couple of years, let's get that thing down.
They're gonna keep it 1,000 a month, aren't they?
Every 3 months. I know CLV increased their fee up to $100 a day they can do right now.
We can go up to $100 a day now.
Right.
We haven't done anything because you've been working with it.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, we just passed, changed our fines procedure last Thursday night, to go up to $100, depending on the severity of the eyesore.
Mm-hmm. But with the
And we can, if it helps, we can go ahead and implement that right away too.
well, and when the realtor called me, she said that if it's unlivable at this point, she said, I can't understand why they would try to sell this, and if the town, where their thoughts are on it, under the unsafe building and that, you know, she said to me, the thoughts are that it should just be bulldozed over and you sell the lot, you know? Because she said, well, where does the town? And I said, well, we know we have fees already associated with it, and they're gonna keep, so she asked, since the fees are every 90 days, what if it takes them 6 months to sell it? Then they're gonna be assessed $2,000 in that.
What kind
6
of power
months.
do we have in bulldozing it?
You can, I mean, the problem is, one thing you have to rely on is Todd Hayes is your building inspector, so he's got an opinion as to this, whether it's salvageable. Because, salvageable isn't that a holder,
Yes.
if we there is a procedure, we've gone through the procedure to deem it an unsafe building. Now we have to notify them that our intent is to demolish it, if that's the intent. Or what Todd's opinion is on whether it's salvageable. One builder could say it's unsalvageable, or an inspector could, that they can get an engineer to come in and say, no, all you have to do is jack it up and put new sill plates in, and well, it depends on whether you want to move forward with the demolition process. If Todd thinks it's unsalvageable, then I would say move forward with the demolition, and let them come in and defend it, if they want to keep the building.
So what do you think, Todd?
I've seen worse, and that is from a building standpoint, remodeling standpoint. But that's why I always try to find out their intentions, if they're definitely going to dig into it and be subject to inspections, an investor or whoever it might be, then the worth could be there for somebody, but, right now, it is an unsafe, public.
It's unsafe for anybody to live in, because they don't have anybody living there.
Right, so.
But what about the safety of kids going in there or somebody going in there?
It is secure at this point. I think there might be one window, one pane of a two-sashed window that's broken. It's a difficult situation for sure, but if they had intentions on, fixing the place, then that's.
It doesn't sound like a bank has anything.
No, not at all.
No, they don't.
The bank's just trying to get their money back.
Right, and it's gonna get worse for them, because nobody's gonna jump on board very quickly with a 12, what'd you say, 12,000?
That, and then the 55,000 to buy it?
Yeah, it doesn't make sense to me financially to do it. I don't see where a person could come out doing it, but they can repair the place. It can be repaired.
Which means you can't demolish. Which means if your building inspector's saying it is repairable, you can't demolish. The town does not govern aesthetics.
Right.
You know, just like the house down on South Elker, you know, back, 8, 9 years ago, you made them tear a garage off. I mean, you couldn't make them tear down the house.
So essentially, we can keep $1,000 fine at the village, once it passes, they'll have to implement their own fine.
Yeah, they can govern aesthetics, the town can't govern
They can
what it looks
start.
like or what people
The
think of
village
it.
will start putting pressure on the bank by putting their fine on them.
Okay.
But we can't do anything else than just sit here and wait.
Well, I think they want clarification for sure on what they need to do to come in compliance with it without, for them to be able to sell it. They want to make sure that they can still sell it the way it is what I understood from the realtor.
Well, yeah, and I told them that according to the letter we sent them, they can sell it, but they have to disclose everything, and that's why she was asking
Okay.
about the amount. So,
Okay. So at this point, you're gonna get with her and tell her that the 2,500
$12,000.
and the date from the December 13th meeting, 90 days from that date, and every 90 days after that date, $1,000, right? Okay.
I would love that if you could send me a breakdown of the.
Don, your fees, $100 a day?
$100 a day, but it only goes for a maximum of 30 days. Then our letter will say, we will demolish it, and then slap a lien on it. But, you know, that's where we can go. Now, we'll have to get our attorney involved with that as well. You know, we just set one out on the local property today. So the fine process on that, that one's been settled by the insurance company. So now we're putting pressure on them. That's the other issue in the village right now. But that letter just went out today.
And Kevin, I'll send you, because we send certified letters and that kind of stuff, there's cost there.
Well, that's what the 10,000.
Okay, all right, then you don't have to have that broke down.
$10,000 is an arbitrary number that the town chose back when Ruth Rice, I think it's on the Ruth Rice case, which you had to establish because.
So when does that go into effect?
To cover all the expenses of Todd, your office staff, meetings, any notices, all that stuff. So that's what the purpose of the $10,000 is
Okay,
for.
but when do they pay that then?
It's due any time, I mean, they need to pay that.
But they don't know that. Do they know that amount?
Yeah, they should.
Okay.
Yeah, well, Manny paid it.
Okay, so you're gonna get with Todd and,
I'll get with Todd.
okay,
Okay.
all right.
So you charge them interest on it there.
Every time Todd has to go out there, though, your inspections and all that should be, and your pictures and,
All right, so you guys are gonna get together and, move.
okay.
So hopefully we'll decide to do something.
Anything else, Todd?
Well, we fell off first.
All right. We'll move on to item D, Police Department, Mr. Lockenberg.
No unfinished business, all I have is my monthly report. Assume everybody has it. It's a little bit of a slower month.
Good.
Yes.
Good.
Yeah, Ryan Griegelbauer's, 3 weeks in now to the academy, so he's got a couple more months to go. And then he'll be back. He'll be back, I think the second weekend is holiday will open, so hopefully we'll be good.
Any communications about the vehicles?
They're saying, first they said the end of February, now they called last week and said the end of March. They're waiting on some computer chips from Ford.
So,
They're waiting on those for everything.
Yeah.
debit cards and everything.
And they're coming from China.
So, that's really all I have, unless you guys have any questions on it.
Lay it in. Thank you, sir.
All right, thank you.
All right, and Russ, we'll move on to trails.
Item 2, new business, January monthly report, financial update. Not a whole lot to speak to as far as my monthly report on trails. As we spoke to Yellow Park Trail tonight, looking into bids. Zach and Clint will be looking at what we do with that. As far as the east side trail goes, weather kind of slowed production down a little bit, but they have reduced work in the last couple of weeks and moving along very well. As far as that goes, I don't really have a construction update other than to say that my dollar amount is about 36% complete.
You guys have any complaints with them?
Yeah, they finished That infrastructure extension, I was over there, looked at it earlier this week, or last week, so. Pretty good.
Yeah, this week we'll be digging footers, preparing to pour the walk and then. That's all I have on the trail report, the council has questions.
Oh, we did hire.
Has some financial updates.
We hired somebody for trails in the water and sewer. I forgot, I didn't even put that on there.
You know what, Kelly? Well, you know.
I forgot all about that.
So, yeah, Kelly said we did hire Joey Brown for the position, as a floating position between the Park and Rec Department and the Utility Department. Bear with us, this is new territory for us, and how to work out scheduling, et cetera, but tentatively, this person will work for the Park and Rec Department sometime around March or April through October or November, spend the rest of the time in utility, so my budget reflects those hours that he'll be spending. We hired him $16 per hour.
A different building?
We do.
Oh. I'm like,
He's come full circle.
like, ex-town marshal Joey Brown?
Mhm.
Yeah, he was a perfect fit for the job. I mean, prior to this coming here, I mean, that's kind of work he did with maintenance, handyman type work for HGC.
All right, we'll move on to street department.
Under street department, item 2, again, I will refer to the monthly report right to the water and wastewater portion of it. The next note on there is the ADA meeting announcement. As the council and public should be aware, we have contracted with Indiana Consulting of Indiana, ADA Consulting of Indiana, and they have already begun work under our contract, and that work consists of updating our transition plan, which basically spells out what the town's action will be to rectify and remedy any ADA deficiencies that we may have. He has also given me and Tina the draft of the Title VI policy. We've not reviewed that yet, so we're not going to handle it before we get it. But I'd like maybe for the papers to announce that Mr. David Males of ADA Consulting in Indiana would like to attend the March meeting, or will attend the March meeting, and would like to notify anybody in the community that has ADA or accessibility concerns to please attend that meeting, and we can, he can spell out what the town's plan is to remedy these problems. So at the, I believe it's March 14th,
Mm-hmm. Yep.
meeting, he will be attending that to explain what he does and what he intends to do for the town.
And what was his name again, Russ?
David Males,
Okay.
last name Mehiel, I believe is how it's spelled.
Okay. Is that invoice you had, and I'm trying to get everybody to sign off on that, do we know what that total cost of their services is, or is there gonna be more of these
Yeah. So
out of each? Because we
I
didn't
broke it
budget.
down, I think it was 34,000 all told.
Uh-huh.
Right? But that was apart and separate from the transition plan and the Title VI, which I believe those two comes to $6,000.
Okay, because what I was wondering, if we're gonna have more invoices than this,
Yes, you will.
nobody budgeted in their regular budgets for this. And Russ has got one bill here for 6,000 that turned in from each department. So I'm not sure, is there any of the special funds we can pay for? Because nobody budgeted for this. And if it's gonna be $34,000,
Yeah, we talked about that earlier.
If I remember right, yeah, it was about 5,000 per department by the time it was all said and done.
Right.
Which I know we've got enough cushion, we can like.
so you're talking water, wastewater, park and rec, community center, fire department, and the clerk
Yeah,
treasurer.
water and wastewater budgets reflect it.
Yeah. So that's why
Yeah,
I'm wondering,
probably.
like, I know the police department, they don't even have 5,000 in their outside services, and neither does fire department and Kevin gets paid out of our outside service. I just didn't know.
Is it, I mean, is it really equal across all the departments, what the work's gonna be done?
Well, we won't.
It's ADA compliant, so I'm assuming so.
It's townwide,
I mean-
it covers all town buildings and facilities, so.
I feel like if you're covering all the wastewater and stuff, there's gonna be a lot more work done than.
Actually, very little of it will be water and wastewater, because ours, although
It's
they
not
are
to the public.
building, it's just employees only.
Oh, so yours doesn't have to be.
Correct, what they will be looking at, like fire department, community center, the town hall, places like that.
Police department.
We should be good, John.
No, it's not, it's not. If you read your report, it's not. I think
It's
you
better be ADA compliant.
It's very easy to sit here and say that, but the ADA requirements change on.
Oh, I know that, yeah, you know.
So it doesn't hurt to ensure you're compliant, because, I can tell you, I've been to several meetings, and the Department of Justice is the sponsors of this, I guess, and I've seen those guys, they take their job very seriously, we don't want them down. And that's not the intent of us doing it. We want everybody to be able to enjoy
We
it.
just need to find something to pay for.
So,
Where when a department has a tiny budget, like the fire department, and you're asking for $5,000, I mean, what's their total budget?
Well, so Russ, this is all gonna come out of this year's fiscal year, right?
yes, this will be completed by this fall.
Is there any way that we can break it out when they're done, like they'll basically say, hey, this is the improvements you need to make, it's gonna cost X dollars, and then by percentage?
No, that's
Okay,
just the cost
so
of,
yeah, that's.
34,000 is just the
That
cost
is
to have it
the,
done,
that
right?
is the
Yeah.
next step, so.
Well, that's what I'm
That's
saying,
not
is
even work.
that's how I figure out how this is equitable, that's how we gotta figure it
They're
out.
gonna pay for the work.
Is this is what it's gonna cost to make all these improvements, percentage wise, what is that by department, and then break out the remaining?
If I can, that's the next step. So what we're doing now is basically having an audit done. So once the audit is complete, then each department will be notified of what improvements they need to make, and it will be their responsibility to budget accordingly for those fiscal years for those improvements.
Well, the council, yeah, really
It's
budget.
not, it don't have to be done in 23.
Right,
It
right.
only have to be done in 23.
But I just didn't know with budgets, this
24,000
amount,
has to be done this
And that's
year.
$5,000.
I mean,
Yeah,
yeah.
that fire department has $5,000 to spend.
Well, any of them. I mean, to be honest with you, any of the budgets really is,
Where can we take it from?
because we didn't, I guess I'm thinking on here. One thing though, this is what I didn't understand was, it says in here like Park and Rec, and it's got the community center and the park, but only at $500 each. But like I'm $1,000 for the town hall, and so is the fire department for the same building.
Kathy broke that out.
Okay, whoa,
No.
you gotta get this all confused.
No, we
So,
didn't break this out.
This bill right here is solely for the update of the ADA transition. plan
Right.
and Title VI. It has nothing to do with the audit of the buildings and what comes later.
Right, but this is, they're paying it, to pay it, that 6,000 out of here. It's 1,000 for water, 1,000 for wastewater.
So it's split equitably. I mean, everybody gets.
I'm getting that, I understand that, but it's not. It is and it's not, because it says Park and Rec and the community center, those are our two biggest places where people go, and they're only $500 each.
So, no, that's not the point. The point is, the town-wide will be covered under the ADA transition plan as well as the Title VI. It has nothing to do with who gets traveled more, who gets more activity. It's about a complete and total policy for the town.
Right, but the community, but here, I just want to say at Town Hall, it's police and clerk treasurer, and we're 2,000 of it. The same building, that's what I'm.
Department is what it is. Park and Rec is one department, you only have 2 locations.
No, they're not. They're two different, separate budgets. They're not one department. They're two separate budgets. The community center is in the general budget and the Park and Rec is on their own budget. It's not the same. But I was just saying, if we're gonna have continuously where we're gonna have these costs, then we need to kind of,
This is the only time we will pay for this portion. This is a one-shot deal.
You're just getting billed.
So the total.
this is for the audit to find out what all is wrong.
Yeah, but the total bill should be 34,000.
I know, that's where
Right
I'm
now,
saying.
they Billed us for 6,000,
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. If there's gonna be more, where are we gonna get this from?
This would be 34 plus this, yes.
So 40,000.
No, I'm sorry, this is included in the 30.
Okay, gotcha.
So what I will do is I will get that,
6 is included?
those amounts
Yeah,
out to you.
that's what he said.
Okay.
So basically, does the 6 need to be broke back out between the departments then?
Yes.
Okay. Well, that's what I'm trying to understand, because I came in here and the numbers were on there, that's why I told Kathy to pay.
Okay,
So that wasn't my doing.
all right, so each department will pay $1,000 out of their outside service.
Only got 1,000 in outside service, I was looking at special.
That'll take care of that. The next part of it, we need to take for rainy day.
Okay, all right. We'll get it taken care of.
They're put back to the departments.
Yeah. Next.
I can't I see the fire department not being compliant, it's practically a brand new building.
Yeah.
And it was, those measures were
Well,
taken.
they just they won't have work to do afterwards. This is just literally for the planning.
Well, I mean, my thing
Just
is,
to
so
see
like,
This actually doesn't put anything in that makes it ADA compliant. This is just the plan to make it ADA compliant.
nobody really planned for this. It's not that big of an amount. I know personally, I have enough cushion to pay for this, but really, if we're worried about fire department being able to pay this, then it needs to just come out of rainy day fund and be fair for everybody. In my opinion, because I'm gonna be short on my outside services budget, just like Kelly's probably gonna be and Russ is probably gonna be.
Especially when you get the next 5,000 that you're gonna pay.
My thought was have it come out of each department, then we put the money back in each department. That's the money's coming out.
Well, then you have to appropriate the money to spend it again
Correct.
down the road, which costs you money because you gotta advertise and all that.
We'd rather not spend out of your.
Just pay it straight out of rainy day.
Okay.
Pay the whole thing out of rainy day, right? And work out later.
We can.
That's fine, I can do it.
But Kevin, is this something even the edit and seat it money could be spent? Because it is for the buildings and we do have that on there.
I don't know, it's not for actual.
Okay, well, I mean, he is making us be compliant, but I guess
When
we
it's
just the
make,
we can use Cume building, right?
Sorry?
We can use Cume building when it comes time to do.
yeah, when we have to do something, we
Yeah,
can use
this is
Q
just the
building.
So we should
stuff.
probably just use rainy day to pay this and be done with it.
got 429,000 in there, but I don't know if that budget.
We budgeted, I don't have it with me, but I don't think I do.
Right now, rainy days showing on this for
Yeah, I think-
$429,122.
I think we budgeted like 75,000 or 100, usually we do.
So could we just pay the 34 and be done with it, the 6? and-
Well, we'll pay the 6 right now.
The 6,
We'll pay
right.
28
The
later.
6 out of rainy day for everybody, water, sewer, and
Otherwise, you're gonna wreck our
general.
budgets, then we're fixing budgets later, then we're gonna wreck them again when it's.
Yeah,
Okay,
As those bills come in, we should pay it out of rainy day.
that's what I think too.
Oh, right, but the utilities should pay, rainy day should only be used for
General.
stuff, but the utilities should pay out of
Our
there.
budget reflects that,
Okay, yeah.
okay.
So you won't pay the full 6.
So the 28,000, where is that? 'Cause the 6 goes in the 34. Now it goes in, so there's 28 left.
Right.
Explain that 28 to me.
That's
'Cause
So-
somewhere I lost that.
Yeah, so as part of the contract, and where this $28,000 comes in, is ADA Consulting in Indiana will actually come to the town of Santa Claus. They will walk our trails, walk our sidewalks, walk our buildings, and do an audit of the buildings to see which ones are remiss in their ADA accessibility requirements.
So is this 6 just assuring that they're coming?
Yeah.
It's like, yeah, the 6,000.
No, you, as a town, any sub-recipients of federal or state dollars is required to maintain an ADA transition
Oh,
plan.
it's just to make.
And Title VI. So
Okay,
this 6,000 was for them to prepare and update
Okay.
our existing plan. Last year, we didn't have a Title VI, so we built a Title VI plan.
now I got it. Thank you.
Okay,
All right, I make a motion, we pay 4,000 from rainy day to cover the 4 town departments, the non-utility departments.
Second.
all right, we have a first and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Passes.
Any more questions? On this concern? Next item, meeting with Prince County Highway Department. Since time immemorial, at least since I've been here, we've had an agreement with the county where we have swapped responsibility for certain roads within the county and within the town. Like, for instance, we're swapping a quarter-mile gravel road for the mile. And again, I guess the last expiration of the contract was in 2018. I didn't realize that it was 2020. So we have some other things going on in town. So I'm going to meet Wednesday with the county superintendent and maybe some council members or commissioners tonight as well, to discuss. So I really didn't bring anything tonight to show you what is existing, but I don't know if the council or if I can throw has any recommendations or comments on which roads could be swapped out.
Yeah, and we want to talk to them about the 245
Correct.
situation and see what their feelings are.
So hopefully Wednesday.
I would leave that to your discretion, you know more about that.
Right now, I don't have any changes to make, other than the area around the old 245. I think we would just keep the agreement as it is.
Weren't we at one time think about taking over the whole road along the.
That will be part of this discussion.
Yeah.
If
Before
they,
we can do that, we have to talk to the county.
Right it off.
And then, so that's
they wouldn't
part
give
of
enough
the
money to fix
discussion.
245, that was the whole thing.
Pardon me?
There wasn't enough money to fix 245, right, to take that
No, they upped it, state upped it to $250,000 from, they raised it. So,
Just be surprised
but
if
we're
they wouldn't
still,
pay for it.
we're a long way from getting there. We gotta talk to the county first about the roads themselves, like who's going to maintain them at that.
Yeah, and when we had originally got close to redo that, I really think in a lot of ways with that Cadillac, I think we can get a more mid-sized car, you know, a little better cost from that. I mean, and the guys are just wanting to do it to the T, correcting all that stuff. I think there's some ways we can still be safe and do road work without that car.
And we have made no mistake whatsoever, right, until we get through this process and see how much it's actually going to cost. And we'll bring that back here and everybody can discuss it.
So I have in the street department,
Wastewater?
the wastewater, again, I'll defer my report when I get through the water. If the council has any other questions outside of the report.
All this rain and snow we got, created a lot more.
Absolutely, absolutely. The bright side of snow is it's a slow release kind of thing, you know, what I know. But this Thursday, we'll pay for that grace period, I'm sure, when heavy rain. As far as snow fighting and all that stuff, I think somebody asked the other day about salt supply. We've probably got 60 tons in the barn right now, so I think we're set. We also have a contractual obligation with Northern Salt to buy 60 tons per year, so I've got 60 tons in the offing yet this year if we need it, so.
Water?
Underwater, I'll go skip right to the second item on item 2. I had a couple of fellows that just took the examination for, actually I'll start over again. Travis Sisman took the test for distribution system oversight. Again, a highly technical thing that you have to study and prepare for, so he did pass his exam 2 weeks ago. We also have Paul Scherzer, who also did the same thing except for a WT3 classification, was what our water plant is rated at. Again, another highly technical position. Paul actually attended about 12 weeks of class in Evansville to get credentials to take the exam. So based on all that and based on the supervisor's recommendation, I'm recommending both of them for $1 per hour raise for the certification, which is included in the salary limits.
You have it in your budget, right?
And our budget's both, what I have reflecting.
Do we have a copy of their certificates for their personnel files?
Yes. Well, I'm not.
Not yet, but you'll get them for me.
Get that. And we will also, present this to one.
Okay.
You guys have to make a motion.
If it's in the budget, we don't have.
No, you have to make a motion. It's, the salary ordinance says when someone gets certification, it's approved by the council, 25 cents to
Make a
$1.
motion, we approve Travis Sisman and
Oh,
Paul Scherzer at an amount of $1 an hour each.
I second it.
With the first and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? No. On water, since Mr. Vogel's sitting in here, we are having discussions with Christmas Lake Village about area around where the new water tower is going to go up.
We met with Russ this past week.
Okay.
We're just, we'll wait till we get the bids in. In fact, Chris and I just talked about first thing Wednesday morning. We'll call and find out where we are on the bid process tomorrow night, when it settles.
Okay.
And then we can get more specific.
Okay.
Yeah, but we've already had a meeting last week.
Great. All right, thank you. All right, we'll move on to industrial park.
I don't think we had anything that,
How's the dog park going? They getting anything built yet?
yeah, it's framed.
It's
Oh,
right.
really?
It's
Cool.
framing. We're framing.
Someone, well, I can't say anything about it yet, but the promise of board is interested in possibly building a train station in the industrial park and give it to the town. So, Mike, I have a question for Kevin. Is the land under that, there's a triangle down by those tracks, I believe the town owns. And
Yes, that's correct.
Where?
On the southeast quadrant.
Right here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Are we still on that?
Well, this was the original.
What,
This was the original area right here. But you're talking about this one down there.
yeah.
No, we don't own that area.
No, that's, isn't that what was given to
Yeah,
the
this-
Port Authority?
This little area right here you're talking about, or over here? This was given to the Port Authority
Yeah.
because they needed to make it into, they wanted to make it into a line.
You talking about this?
You're talking about this right here?
I believe so.
The town still owns this.
Okay.
The town doesn't own any of this.
So my
The
question
town doesn't own this.
that I need answered is what happens to the land? Can we, I'm just asking a question, is, can we lease that land to somebody for, if they're willing to build a train station free for the town, can we lease it to them for like $1 a year for 50 years? I don't know. I don't know how we would handle it.
We would have to, we could do like a.
Do we want to
RFP
take over the
procedure.
depot?
I mean, it has to be competitive.
Right. Yeah.
To allow
I
someone
mean,
else also.
seriously, do we want to take over a depot? That's going to be a lot more employees and everything. How are we going to pay for it to maintain it?
Pardon me?
Like an excursion train station?
Yeah, they want, because when the excursion
It's the one that
train,
goes-
Like a Polar Express?
yeah, all that stuff came up, people were having to load and get off, and there was nothing there. There was no restrooms, there's no building, there's no anything, and so,
I thought that Butterworth, what was his name?
Butterworth.
Ben Butterworth was doing all that.
that guy's disappeared so long ago.
I mean, he owns that land, that he was doing that, and all those train things are there.
He still owns all the ground.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't know what he's doing. He's in Florida, last I heard.
yeah, the last time I talked to him, his businesses were in real trouble.
Yeah, I know, but COVID hurt the excursion train business, I believe.
Yeah. So anyway, there's somebody that has an interest in maybe doing that.
There is, there are ways to structure something to allow for something.
So hopefully they'll come to the town council meeting next month. Tell us what their ideas are. All right, town attorney.
Okay, the first two basically still in the court's hands. Kimball abatement. Thank you all back, you know about Kimball requesting an abatement for the $420,000 assessed value of the estimated value of the proposed project to add kitting equipment. That's what they call it. I have no idea what that is.
And this has nothing to do with the other Kimball thing that we talked about last week. This is a completely separate item.
We received their statement of benefits, which breaks it all down. So it's now up to you to decide whether you wish to give an abatement to.
I would just like to make a general comment. Since I've been on the council, and Kevin has been too, we've had different abatement programs with Kimball, and they have always lived up to what they agreed to do. And starting in 2007, I believe, Kimball started closing a lot of facilities around. If you go to French Lake, you'll see two massive buildings there that they closed down. In Jasper, they closed down a number of places. When they've done that in the past, and they're continuing to do it with the project we talked about last time, they're bringing those jobs to Santa Claus. So I am for one in favor of the abatement programs with Kimball. They have, again, lived up to their, every time they promised this, and they are continuing to add jobs to that facility when they're taking away from a lot of their other communities.
how many jobs does that say on there that it,
Zero. They're not adding any employees
oh,
with this new equipment,
oh,
but they're not terminating anybody.
They're not
It
terminating.
shows they're retaining all 272 employees.
okay.
They're not
They
adding-
are, okay, good.
Yeah, they're not adding additional, but they're installing $1.4 million worth of manufacturing equipment. It's they estimate will have an assessed value of $420,000.
Are they also lowering their assessed value on everything else, right?
Well, they did that abatement, or that, not abatement, when they went through, remember, we took them out of the TIF because
Yeah, we took
it
them
actually
out of
hurt
the
us.
because of that. It actually reduced their
Yes.
value down below their base assessed value, so on their existing stuff, it hurt them.
Mhm.
So they are the one for the TIF.
Essentially, they put that in and they're not taxed on it for how long?
Well, that's up to you also. In order to grant an abatement, you have to make several findings. You must find that the estimated cost of redevelopment of the real estate is reasonable for this type of projects of this nature. The estimate of the number of individuals who will be employed or whose employment will be retained can be reasonably expected to result from the proposed redevelopment of the real estate. The estimate of the annual salaries of those individuals who will be employed or whose employment will be retained can be reasonably expected to result from the proposed redevelopment of real estate. D is the tax base of the town of Santa Claus and all relevant taxing districts can be reasonably expected to increase from the proposed redevelopment of real estate. And the total benefits are sufficient to justify the reduction. If you make those findings, then you must establish a schedule, the percentage of abatement that they're entitled to. What you did before was you did it as a decline of 10%. So year one, you received 100% abatement, year two, 90, 80, 70, so on. So it's a 2-year abatement with a declining 10% each year.
And these are additional taxes. This is only on the additional equipment.
This is only our additional equipment there.
So-
Yeah,
So our net is
120,000.
always going to increase after the first year.
Once they're appreciating 10%.
They're gonna be, they'll appreciate it.
Yeah.
Yeah, they'll be appreciated. And the other option you have is with their consent, you can impose a fee, basically a fee to the town each year in lieu of taxes. That's up to you also. That's a value judgment you can take.
Is it just gonna say $8,000 for the park? Or for the community center?
Yeah. It's probably more tax than the payments.
I agree with Mike, I think we should proceed on.
Yeah.
I'm not the one to vote on it, because my wife's employed by them.
Well, I'll make a motion.
I do have a resolution number 2022-03, a resolution approving a deduction for tax abatement in an economic revitalization area for Kimball International, which basically makes those recitations that they have filed the statement of benefits, that you're making the findings that I just recited, and that you are allowing them to apply for property tax deductions with the declining 10%.
And they have to come each year.
No, they're gonna be, well, they have to file a statement of benefits every year showing that they
Yeah.
have actually not fired people. If they reduce their workforce, you can come back and say, we're cutting you off.
I make a motion, we approve resolution 2022-03, a resolution approving a deduction for tax abatement in an economic revitalization area for Kimball International, with the proposed fee schedule.
And authorize Mike Johannes to sign the statement of benefits with the appropriate information.
So moved.
Second. And first and second, any questions? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed?
Yeah, abstain.
One abstention. Thank you.
I will do this filled out, and then just, I'll give you a call.
Okay.
But only one person, the designated official has to sign the statement of benefits, but they will then send up to DOJ if you want that.
All right, back to the litigation that's up before the appeals court. Have we heard anything from the appeals court?
It's still, in Gosnell, it's fully briefed, waiting on such.
What is it? I thought, though, I had in the minutes that he asked for an extension till like January, 1st of January.
Who's that, Gosnell?
Gosnell's.
Yes, he responded, and I filed a reply brief, which I've already filed that within 2 days. He filed it, I think, last Friday or Friday before. So he did file a response, basically saying, not really. He basically agreed that he had a contract, but didn't think that he should actually abide by it. Was basically his response.
Okay.
So, because he admitted he terminated it mid-year, and Then they terminated it within, for 1 year, even though it was required to do it for 2 years. So we really didn't have much of a response.
Okay.
So that was my response is, and basically admitted our case is good, so.
And then didn't the other one that like Mike was talking about, the litigation,
That's for the appeals, so.
but that was a certain time that you had to file your paperwork
It's all been
first?
filed since December.
What?
It's all been filed since December. Maybe
Okay.
November, actually. We're just waiting on the court. to come up with numbers.
Okay.
I've got two other things here. The first is the elections. I misinformed you last month talking about my office staff, because you cannot do it for 1, 3, or 5 years. As far as the people being elected to odd year, you can only do it for 1 or 3 years. Well, 3 years you don't want to do, because that puts everybody being elected at the same time. So the people getting elected next year can only do it for a 1 year term.
So clerk treasurer as well?
I'm not saying you can't, you can do the 3 years.
Or we could leave it the same.
Statutorily.
We could do clerk for 3, because then it would be 3 and 3 then.
I was gonna say, are you doing the clerk? You can't do the clerk for 5 years either, right?
No.
Nobody 5 years.
Statute.
You could do the clerk for
Which is
3,
pretty
and that pops the clerk on with the current one, so there'd be 3
The
and
2,
3.
so it'd be 3 and 3, yes.
Is that what you want to do? I compared it with everybody just doing 1 year, but I do have serious reservations. I don't think anybody should have to do it for 1 year term. Certainly the clerk treasurer, because especially.
I think the clerk should get should be 3.
Well, especially if Kelly is serious about retiring.
Yes, she is.
Position, you're gonna get somebody new in there.
I guess we could get you to run one more time for a year.
They won't even have their memberships in, all these associations they belong. They won't even have all their training through the LGF and stuff.
I would
No.
say clerk for 3, council for 1.
Okay, I will.
Yeah, but we need to agree upon that. I totally disagree with that.
I
I
do
don't want my constituents
No.
to go out there and tread the pavement for a 1 year term and then have to tread it again for a 3 year term.
Yeah, basically, if you find it,
Well, they wouldn't be doing it again for, they do it for 1 year, but then they would have a 4-year term.
Right,
Whoever.
exactly, but there's still gonna be 2 years in a row.
you got
Pushing
2 years
the
prior
paper.
and 2 years of.
I
Right.
think as a public servant, and knowing the cost of the town, any public servant should be willing to do it for 1 year. That's my opinion. You're either a public servant or you're not.
You either care about
So
the
if you're
people.
saying, that is beside the point, look how much it's gonna cost us this year.
This year has nothing to do with it.
Right, this doesn't,
It's,
Every other odd year looks like that.
this year has nothing to do with it because of a primary. But, you know, we were just fortunate in the past where we didn't have to have a primary.
You're talking one time ever to do this. One time. So for me, I will vote for it, and it's my seat, so.
David, I'm asking this, that election the next year would be a normal election year, so people would be going back up there to vote again. Okay, so,
It's the people who push for you. That they would be, you know what I mean? They'd be campaigning, perpetually campaigning. And as being the only person in this council of a different party, that it really puts my people in a tougher situation, no matter what anybody says.
okay.
So you want to leave it alone? Is that what you're suggesting?
I would much rather just leave it as it is. That would be me, but as far as Seth says, being a public servant.
I think the last time we paid, it was, that it's somewhere between $3,000 and $4,000 when it's on that off year.
And how much is it costing us this year since we're the only group?
Well, I did talk to Jeff Lindsay, and he believes since it's a presidential, or there's not as presidential, that it is on a, that we won't have a burden of all this year in the primaries, what he said. But I don't know. I haven't heard that from the election board because I wouldn't know why we wouldn't.
Odd year, we would always have to bear.
It's-
It always depends on how
I'm
many.
talking about this year.
This year, 2022,
Yeah, we
the
know
primary.
that. No, we know
Right, that's what, but see, we're gonna have a primary this year because we have 3
Well, we
people.
won't have a burden because it's 2022. it's a
Right,
election.
right.
In the
So
odd
we
years-
won't have that cost this
In
year.
the odd years, our burden depends
Right.
on how many municipalities have contested elections.
Right.
Like if.
And we know
if
Dale
Santa Claus,
always does,
Rockford,
'cause they're
Brandon,
up the same
Newbury, they all
time.
have contested elections in an odd year, our burden's much lower. Because we don't have to cover all the costs. If we were the only one to have a contested election in an odd year, we had to bear all the costs.
Right.
Yes, that would be correct.
Well, it might be if all the other municipalities are converted over to.
And how could we know that?
Or they-
Does anyone know that?
I have no idea. It'd be crazy not to, probably.
Well,
I know Dale's not because they are not doing it. They're not changing theirs. They'll still be on that odd year.
They probably will if other people do and they get their first bill.
Right.
In an odd year.
many communities in Indiana are doing this to get rid of that cost. So
It's just a wise thing to do. It's just a prudent thing to do. And as acting as administrators for the town, we should do what's prudent for the town. Every dollar, I mean, we're arguing about $1,000, you know, for a one-time payment, and we're thinking every 4 years, we're just gonna, no big deal if we pay $10,000, I mean, what's the most we've paid?
I said between 3,000 and
I
4,000.
mean, 3 or
That's
4,000 every 4 years, I mean, that's money we can use, I mean.
So is that a motion? I bet ordinance 2022-04, an ordinance altering the schedule of election of municipal officers. I did have it where all the people are elected for 1 year, but I'll make the change.
So I'll have to go back to another reading for next year.
So what it has.
No, you won't. If you win this year, you're good for 4. It's
It's me and
Seth, Kevin, and Trish, and me.
What this provides then is that each elected officer in this ballot.
That's right.
What this will provide is each elected office of the municipality after 2023 shall be elected in an even-numbered year. The term of office for each town council member elected in 2023 shall be 1 year. The term of office for the clerk treasurer elected in 2023 shall be 3 years. The successors of the individuals elected during the next municipal election year shall be elected in 2024. The council members in 2027 or 2026 for the clerk treasurer. I'm sorry, I'm adding it. And then the term of office of the successors of the individuals elected in the initial term of office
Oh,
shall be 4
I
years,
think you guys got
beginning January 1st after the respective
it.
elections.
I think we should go 3 years, have everybody come to it at the same time. You're only gonna have one election every 4 years. And if you're trying to save money,
No, but doesn't, we don't pay, in even years we don't pay anyway, so you're not saving money putting everybody in 1 year, you're creating a potential disaster with everyone changing in 1 year. And having no one on here again, and having a totally new board,
Or new clerk treasurer too. You could have,
with a new board.
yeah.
Yeah, this can,
That's a
That could be
risk,
bad.
that's,
so
I
that's
did-
five
what
new
happens.
people up at the table,
I definitely wouldn't do that.
January 1.
No.
Doing that, does it that way, I mean.
Oh my God, that would be,
That could be catastrophic.
that's a train wreck. That's a train wreck waiting
Everybody
to
comes to
happen.
the same time.
I make a motion, we approve ordinance 2022-04, an ordinance altering the schedule of elections of municipal officers. As Kevin stated,
First reading.
first reading.
It's a resolution or an ordinance?
No, it's,
Okay.
Oh, it's a resolution.
no.
And what number was that?
Ordinance 2022-04.
Okay.
we have a second. Motion fails for lack of a second.
I just want to say, I think it's really selfish of people on this board not willing to run 2 years in a row, save the town thousands of dollars. And I hope that that changes in the next election, and when we get some people elected here, that'll push it through and get it done.
The other thing side of that said, we could have ran 3 years and saved the town even more.
Mm-hmm.
No, it won't save the town anything, because we don't pay in even use, regardless.
That's
So it'll
right,
save
you wouldn't-
nothing.
You wouldn't have that election. Thanks for your work on that, Kevin.
Well, you can certainly entertain it every year, but this is the last year you can do it until 4 years from now.
I mean, we can amend this now to have
Oh, yeah, that's what I'm saying, you can still take action on this before the end of the year, but if you don't do it this year, in this calendar year, you can't do it again until the year before.
It has to be the year
US
before the,
election year.
the 23
So you'll
year.
be frozen until 4 years from now, basically.
Right.
I'd like to make a motion that it's a 3-year term. I don't,
Change that 1 to 3.
We
right?
change, all of those change to 3 years. Everybody
I
runs for 3 years.
also would like to make a statement that this is not a personal issue, that I want to be reelected to the board, that I'm being selfish. It is an issue of my constituents working hard to get a place on this board. And that has nothing to do with me. That has to do with my people, the people of this town.
Okay, we have a first to change both the clerk treasurer and the existing council members to 3 years instead of 1.
I second that.
Okay, we have a
Now,
first and
would
second.
that put us potentially of having
Yes,
a whole new,
Oh, my gosh.
Well, no, we'll never have a whole new board together.
Yes, you will.
Yes, you will with this.
One election.
That's what that does, but.
Yeah, that's put everybody on the same year.
I thought we were just changing.
We're talking one
This
election.
will put everybody on the same year.
Yeah,
We're talking 1 year.
that's
one
a no
election.
way.
You have to put up with this.
Oh, my gosh.
Everybody would be elected in 2026.
One
Voted to do that.
Time.
that we cast off?
Yeah, you don't want that.
I want to make sure I identify. Is there only that 1 year, or will the entire board be turned over every?
Every 4 years, the entire board might, and the clerk treasurer.
Every 4 years if you voted for it.
Could happen.
My understanding, you've got, right now, you've got 2 members that are elected in 2026.
Right.
If you put a 3-year term in for the people elected in 2023,
All right, I didn't-
everybody is elected in 2026.
Did that have it, did you have a second?
no,
Yes, you do.
Yeah, she does. You have a first and
You
second.
did? Okay.
I didn't, but if we do it for 1 year, then
Then it staggers.
it's stacked.
Yes. What you had done was, with the clerk treasurer doing a 3-year, you would then have 2 council members plus the clerk
3
treasurer.
people every 4
In
years.
2026, you would have 3 board members who have to run again in a year, but then they're on a 4-year term. So 2028 would be when they're up again. So you'd have, basically, going forward, you would have
You have back-to-back elections.
clerk treasurer and 2 council members in 2026, 3 council members in 2028. And then forward, everybody should go 4-year term.
Okay, I'm not having. Everybody would serve a 4-year term, or are they the same 4-year terms?
Mike,
The way that you're
if we go to 3,
What is the motion correctly been?
all 6 people every 4 years. If we do a 1-year election where everybody, yes, it sucks for 3 people, they gotta run 2 years in a row, okay? But then it's every 4 years. It's one time you gotta do it. It's one time, you put in a little extra effort to make this work best forever. You go to 3 years,
Everybody's in 2026.
6 people every 4 years are up for grabs. With no one retained, potentially, no one retained that knows any procedure,
We have an
any
entire
experience.
new board change. That happened with the school system in Spencer County, in North Spencer County, in 1990 or 92, I forget which one it was. That's a disaster waiting to happen. You cannot replace
Oh, you gotta vote.
everybody, and I know we want to, but you gotta, I didn't understand that about this.
Yeah, so six new seats technically between the clerk treasurer and the town council.
We have a motion, we have a first and second.
You have call for further discussion.
Huh?
Call for further discussion. You don't think you would call for further discussion.
We had discussion, you didn't call for further discussion.
Yeah. I don't know if there's anything else, any council members.
And you guys understand this, that we're gonna have 6 people up for election, all.
Well,
these-
I'm gonna tell you that it would not be good, you guys. I know, I don't like it either way, but I'm gonna tell you, 6 new people that you possibly could have. you would not have no continuity of trying to run this town. Way too many people. I know my job specifically, it took me the first year before I even understood half of this job and worked weekends and everything. And I can't imagine a clerk treasurer trying to explain to 6 new council members or 5 new council members possibly at one time and do their job as well when they're still learning their job.
And then you could take a bunch of people in the town that's wanting to throw darts at somebody because Russ didn't give them a free water meter and James pulled them over, and it could be just bad for the department heads. It just, I don't know. It's not.
What's there about there, I mean, you guys are, most of your town, what do you guys think?
I'm sure glad I'm not part of it, because we only elect 3 every 6 months. And we, because of that continuity factor is so important.
Yes, it is.
It's probably more important than half the money you're saving, is that you're carrying over somebody that knows what the heck is going on.
Exactly. Totally agree.
Jason, he's right. If somebody comes in, one little thing. What did John diselected was he's tying to the trail center. I mean, that was, in the community, that was what was talking. He wasn't reelected. And you get that tag on the entire board, it'll be 6 new people. And you're looking for progress.
Yeah, I mean, you look at the progress and the things the different things that Russ is doing with the trails and Zach is doing, and you get a whole new board in here that, what if they say, no, we're not doing any of that? And this is stuff that's been started, which they have the opportunity to do, but when you have continuity, these people that are there already can say, you know, this was our long-term plan, this kind of stuff, but if you don't have some continuity there.
The ones that are elected off are not gonna come back in and hold hands to make it, make it happen again. I know 2 members that's not here anymore that have not been back in this room since. So.
I keep in mind that both ABC and BOZA are staggered for the very reason that if we replaced everybody at the same time, nobody would know what's going on.
Exactly. Yeah.
I would advise you to keep I agree. It's more important than the money to keep the staggered terms.
Yep.
Everybody knows how tight Kelly is, and I think Kelly would probably agree with that. It's better to spend the money and keep staggered terms.
But the best thing would be to staff.
Thanks, Kevin.
I'm just saying, you're a penny pincher, and I think you would agree it's better to spend the money and keep
Yeah.
it staggered.
I mean, I couldn't imagine for somebody to take my position and then have to deal possibly with 5 new board members. I really
Right.
couldn't.
But the best thing would be to just bite the bullet for once and get it done. I mean, that would be the ideal, best thing for everyone. I mean,
You got a motion on
I
that?
know we have a motion on the floor, we'll take a vote. Everyone that's in favor of doing this, respond by saying aye.
I made the motion, so I guess I have to say aye.
you don't have to change your mind after you make the motion.
Yeah, you don't have to. That's
I would
totally up
like
to
to
you.
revise my motion to say
Well,
that,
no, you-
Okay.
Yeah, this one's on the table.
okay,
Unless Kevin withdraws a second.
okay.
All right, so all against this motion signify by saying aye.
No. All in favor. You have to go in favor first. Yeah, favor first.
Motion was for in favor.
Yeah.
Okay, nobody voted for it.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, that's what I mean.
Oh.
Opposed? Nay.
So, all right, if you want to do it.
All opposed?
All opposed? Nay.
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 Is that everybody? Trish?
Nay, I oppose it.
All right. So now, Kevin, are you telling me there's no way to do this without one?
One or 3 is what the statute allows.
One or two?
We're stupid. I didn't make rules.
I know, that's what I'm at.
No, it's one
They
or
can,
three.
it just
Yeah, we can
cost us
keep
some
it the
money.
same.
It can, they can keep it the same and then we
It
spend the
costs
money.
more
It just costs the town money.
But at this point, when we do have to spend the money, I know for sure we split it with Dale. I think Grandview is on the same.
That is if they have
If they have a contested election.
contested elections.
This
They
is
don't
true.
have
This is
contested
true.
elections.
We pay, whoever has the contested elections want pays it.
Yes,
Yes.
yes, that would be right. If you have more
Both
people
ways.
to
If
fill
you
the
have a
seat
contested
than what you
primary
need.
and a contested election, election, nobody else has one.
You
You're
pay
in primaries and you're taking
Yeah.
votes in the primary. So that's where it
I guess my only thought on it is if you're in off year, turnout is pretty minimal, but.
True.
Yeah, so if we put it in the main election, we'll get better turnout too, so.
Under
I mean,
the current,
there's no good way to slice this. It
You're right.
sucks.
My
No, but that
vote
would-
only had 54 people.
But is that what you're saying is we're currently in the off year, so you're actually getting less people voting for three and a clerk. So our four people are in an off year, so there's less
the
people
current
voting.
situation is following cities and towns.
Yeah, right.
But even then, like the midterm, there's less turnout for that than there is for presidential elections. I mean, there's no good way to slice it.
Is there another motion?
Unless somebody's willing to do one.
We don't need a motion and let, we're just gonna leave it alone.
No.
No.
Okay, the other thing I had is I have another resolution for you. I apologize for this, I didn't get this out, but Kelly had sent me a reminder about.
It just yeah.
About, because Mike had said we should do this. It concerns the property tax, personal property tax, the legislature's.
That resolution, yeah.
Considering legislation to change the depreciation floor and other aspects of the business personal property tax in their legislative agenda. And AIM, which is the Accelerate Indiana Municipalities, used to be IAC, came out, they're basically a lobbying group in the legislature.
Yes.
And they came out and requested, and I think about 20 municipalities have so far, as every last county, done resolutions of this type, which basically says how important personal property tax is to local government, and that the business personal property tax could result in significant decrease in the town's assessed value, significant loss in the town's, I had to look at some of this because of our tax income. Our amusement commercial, if you recall, captures the personal property of the designated taxpayer, which is a significant portion of our
Yes.
revenues, which would not be made up, so it actually could cause a default from the bottom, technically. Increase in property tax rates throughout the town, increase in circuit breaker loss for the town, loss of funding to the town's cumulative capital funds, and increase in annual property tax for the town's residential and commercial property owners. So because of increase in your property tax. So what you're doing is resolving that you oppose all legislation that contemplates eliminating any portion of the business personal property tax without full and permanent replacement guaranteed by the state of Indiana.
What, that was 04?
Yes.
It would not be good for us at
No,
all.
no. And once, if you guys sign that and everything, then I think I'll send it to AIM, because they want them, but I think we should also send them to like Stephen Bartel, who else should we? I mean,
And I've talked.
Larry Bouchon, all those.
Expressed my displeasure with this.
Yes, because they haven't come up with anything to replace it either. They keep taking revenue away from us. You know, just like the gun permits were taken away. No revenue has been brought in for that. And
You sent it to all officials.
It is resolution number 2022-04, a resolution opposing legislation regarding Indiana business personal property tax.
Make a motion that we approve for everybody to sign that and send it to our elected officials at the state, including the governor.
Do we have a second?
Second.
All right, we got a first and second, all in favor? Aye. Any opposed? All right.
That's all I have.
All right,
okay, I don't have a whole lot either. We have the December ending numbers for 2021. The general was $4,699,095.42. Water was $4,042,105.38. And wastewater is $6,013,572.13. And TIF was $741,283.13. And of course, that includes all our proceeds from the bonds. That's why those numbers are high, which those monies will be spent. What is it? Sewer, 1.6 million this year, and water is 2-something million, isn't it?
7 or something.
Yeah, I think somewhere right in there, so. Oh, so those are those numbers. The other thing I had is, of course, you guys know that Abigail, we moved her into the utility clerk position, what I call the number one from our salary ordinance. And I would like to at least give her, she's making the 1633, and Lisa was making right at 1904. But I would like to give her a raise because I tell you that I've had Lisa Wyatt coming from Dale on Fridays, and she said this girl's picked up a lot faster. She said she probably knows more than I know. And we've been on the phone with Keystone. They've been very helpful, but I would like to see that we could give her a little bit of a raise there.
When's her 90 days up?
Excuse me?
When's her 90 days up?
Oh, she was, I mean, she started in August for us.
Okay.
She was the number 2 utility clerk, and then when Lisa left, then we put her in the number 1 spot. And she has cleaned up a lot of things that have not been cleaned up in the past, you know, finding some accounts and things like that. And so she's been very good. We're working on this invoice cloud. It's been a lot of trying to figure out a lot of stuff, the way that's come in. But we also, for 15 days in January, we had 47 people already use the invoice cloud. 15 days. So they're loving the paperless, and they're signing up for that, and the ACH, that kind of stuff. It's all going well, but I would like to at least give her 50 cents on the hour.
I make a motion that Kelly uses her discretion to give a raise to Abigail.
Second.
Okay. So, make a motion.
I did, and he seconded it. Yeah, it's okay.
Yeah.
All in favor?
Aye. Motion carries.
Okay. Okay, so Brian Kuhn sent this today to me, and I'm sorry, but I have not had time to read it. But there is a grant out there with Purdue University, and they're getting $2 million to help schools and local government, and it has to do with cyber attacks. So what they would like to do is they'd like for us to sign up free of charge, doesn't cost us anything. They will do an assessment on our system to see what we need and where our weaknesses are, what our strong points are, and they're going to probably do Dale, and if we decide to do Santa Claus and the school, and they'll have one person come down and they'll work this and do that assessment to let us know where we need to strengthen some of our stuff for our cyber security. But they will do this until the grant runs out, and they have $2 million to do this.
I make a motion that we sign up for this free assessment with Purdue University.
Second.
Have a first and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Did he give me any idea how long it's taking, how long he's been here?
No, he did not. I mean, I think once we get the little grant kind of, it's an application filled out, then they'll probably contact us and see if we can, maybe they'll give us some dates and times and stuff like
So
that.
the Phyllis election process will go through, or we set?
No, I don't think so. The way Brian talked, they really want to concentrate, and since they've got 3 entities right here, they feel like that person, when they come down, it'll be, yeah, I think so too. Okay.
Kelly, since we're talking about Brian, when we're gonna have all this other stuff working?
We are waiting from the company that we got this from for a special audio voice cord. And they have tried and tried to get it, and that's where our fault is, that we can't get that audio cord. And it's probably made in China. That's probably why it's not here. Yeah, it's on a boat out in the ocean, but all other than that, this is ready to go. It's if somebody wants to do a presentation, it actually could be shown up there and stuff. And we're doing the YouTube, it worked tonight, so.
Does anybody else?
Yes, I do.
Have anything for?
Yeah, in regards to the Santa Claus thing at the park, at the community center, the Santa house, or?
Oh,
Okay.
I got a
I wanna
question
make
about
it
it,
known.
what's going on?
I wanna make it known that the town governors at whatsoever, we had nothing to do with that.
That's right.
I've had some phone calls about what's going on and who ran Santa Claus off and everything, and The town of Santa Claus has absolutely nothing to do with that.
That is, whole thing is governed by 503C, 501C, right?
501c3.
C3, okay. And their board decided to terminate their executive director, because their board has the right to do that.
That's fine.
Santa was the executive director.
Yeah, the only thing we have is they're renting, that
Yeah.
facility is rented under a contract.
The only thing the town has is a contract that they have.
I've been in 2 local businesses and been cornered 2 times by it, so
I gotta ask. about
whoever's ahead of
today.
that, I would appreciate it if you would
So
make
is
it
he
known
not
that
there anymore?
we're nothing to do with that.
He's not.
Okay, because somebody asked me about it today, I was like, what?
Yeah. That is an independent board, and their board took that action. It has nothing to
Yeah.
do with the town.
Okay.
They are
The rent's
currently
has
trying to
been paid.
figure out what they're going to do.
Mm-hmm.
And Zach, you're on that.
I'm on that board, yes. So basically, at the moment, we are planning to proceed forward. Basically just trying to, I guess weather the storm maybe, is the proper term. He's decided to go on his social media pages and say a lot of things that aren't exactly true.
Okay.
So
So
we're
maybe
trying.
that's where people are hearing
Mhm.
things.
That's, yeah, we're basically kind of, we're hoping that would die down. There's a lot of, oh, I know that man because I've spent 15 minutes with him for the last 15 years. So
So you terminated and now you're looking for another answer.
we're exploring options. We've
Okay.
met with a lot of businesses and the museum,
Okay.
trying to figure out, can we work something out equitably to help everybody, or how should we proceed?
Okay,
So, yeah, rent's being paid, the contract will be fulfilled.
okay.
So,
Anything else? All right, move on to vouchers.
Alrighty. All right, so we have the general vouchers for the $340,202.60.
Make a motion to approve the general voucher in the amount of $340,202.60.
I'll second it.
First and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? No.
Okay, we have the wastewater vouchers in the amount of $99,439.33.
Make a motion to approve the wastewater voucher in the amount of $99,439.33.
I second that.
We have first and second, all in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. We still have documents to sign, but then we're having another reading out.
Yeah, you know what, I totally forgot to do an agenda for that, so it's just, we'll go.
Okay.
Okay,
And I don't have the stuff ready for the tax income.
I advertised it, so that's good. We're good there. Organizational meeting anyway, so.
Was it split signed?
Yep, there you go, we just have that.
so you want me to
But I'm here, you're into that.
Yeah.
So, let me get the call, step back from that, and let you know when they get out. So, yeah, I think.
She's on that one, much over on this.
That's been an industry in the long term. I mean, granted, it is do like, help the navigation.
Oh,
Let them spot.
So we got,
I think those go together.
So that, yes, then that puts.
You don't want to sign that. And the other thing too, you want to.
Motion to adjourn?
We can't,
Yeah.
Hand out.
we have to sign it.
Vouchers are signed.
What was? part C and part
That's kind of rotating upside down. I think Rick.
No, I've got those words for somebody else right here. I think my battery's on. No. Yeah. I don't know how the battery's on.
On the back, they're on the back side.
Yeah, this definitely needs. I'm not, oh, I see it.
Did you lose your other battery?
No, there's batteries, but mine keeps turning on and turning off.
Oh, but I mean, I've laid two there. You have another?
I don't know where it went.
Oh, okay.
Second. All right, brother, first and second.
Who was the second? Kevin, okay, thank you.
All in favor?
Aye. Recycle and throw away.
No, I recycle because they're rechargeable. Well, they're rechargeable. Okay, are we ready?
So I would say that we will either. Now, your
Not till 9 AM. 9 AM, right? 'Cause I'm just from an 8 to get back to school.
7.
So should I go through the village, go back to my, maybe go back to school, go through the village, go back to school?
Okay. Are you ready?
Yeah, we're ready.
Okay, so we have the redevelopment commission meeting. Time is 7:38.
Another meeting, if we can have the other meetings outside here.
7:38 PM. We have Jason Little.
Here.
Patricia Ball. Mike Johannes. Kevin Burke.
Here.
Seth Wendell.
Here.
Okay, so I don't have an agenda, but the officers for,
First business that we need to do for this year is elect the president, vice president, and secretary.
Should we need that all at once? Or?
no, each one.
All right, I nominate Kevin Burke for president.
Second.
Okay, I have a first and second to nominate me, retain president. Any discussion? If not, all those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Let it be known, I'm president. Could we have a motion for vice president?
Make a motion for Mike to be vice president.
Second that.
So,
Oh, it's Seth?
It doesn't really matter.
I thought it was Mike, I'm sorry. Seth.
I make.
Okay, whomever it is.
Whomever it is, if they want to retain the position, please. do.
Yeah, do you want to retain the position?
Sure, I mean, it doesn't, I've never done anything.
I have a first.
That could change.
Seth,
Okay.
yes.
Okay, so,
All those in favor?
Aye.
Let me know, we have a first. Vice president, next is the secretary. Currently it's Kelly.
somebody can have it if they want it.
Do I have a first and second?
Yeah.
First. Yeah. I have a first and second, retaining
Who was the second?
Kelly as secretary.
Who was the second?
Jason.
Oh. Okay.
She wants to know who.
All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Thanks, Guy. Appreciate
We
it.
have our board. Any other discussion?
I think, is there anything else? Just we needed to reorganize. I forgot that in January.
Meeting for.
Yeah, maybe I'll go.
Got a post on
There's
there.
no, we'll probably do it in conjunction, we have that one in, what, like, May,
What?
to establish that you want to.
That you want to keep all the money?
Keep all the money for
Yeah.
this year.
Yeah.
So we'll have, and I'll have it already for this, and we'll have another meeting.
And of course, if anything comes up that you're talking about, the railroad thing, that would be through this redevelopment.
No, the whole TIF procedure, so you won't have to have that done until
if they started building this year, their buildings won't be assessed until next year anyway. So there's no
Yeah.
pressure.
I don't know if that's gonna happen, I just had somebody ask me, and
I'm talking about the Cook development.
Oh, Cook development,
The property that we just annexed into the town, to include that in the TIF district. Even if they got them built by March of next year, you'll have it in the TIF district right there. So
okay.
I don't want to cause you all that extra meetings or anything for doing that. Because then it goes to ABC, then it goes to town council, and it comes back with a redevelopment again. So you'll probably have one, you'll have to have 2 meetings this year.
Okay.
Middle of those,
We don't have anything else.
wham, bam, you're done.
No, we just needed to reorganize for
Have
the
a
year.
motion to adjourn, and a second.
Second.
And a second. All those in favor? Aye.
Get all these folders in there.
Yeah, I had them out in case you needed anything out of them.
I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
Here's your vouchers on time.
Okay, okay.
Vouchers on time. I need copies of that stuff. Because they were supposed to, Cook Development was supposed to have some, they've got some fancy ordinance, like on big paper with shows the property. They're in
Oh, yeah?
Western Center. I have to give them Rose.
Well, they were here, so I was
But the
kinda,
guy from Rose, and he was supposed to bring me some big ones to record.
huh,
Anyway, we may have to sign that next month.
Okay.
Because we can't, we gotta wait for that remonstrance period to pass
all right.
before the annexation is done. Which nobody can legally remonstrate against it because,
Now I can't remember how to shut this thing off, let's see.
and that resolution's in there for AIM too. We wanna take care of getting that to everybody.
Yes, yes, I will.
You know what I made a change on the first page,
Okay,
so I'll reprint it, because you're,
yeah,
to copy it, you want to put it on, so I'll make you a clean copy of the front page.
okay, and then I'll print it off on the paper and stuff, okay. Real quick, you guys, I just wanted, well, Seth is not here, but I wanted to tell you, with the annual report this year, there is, on the assets, which we kind of talked a little bit about, it is a lot more extensive. Everything, you have to depreciate everything by a certain percentage by IC code. And we have to have everything listed for the town. And anything under the 10,000 threshold has to be on there, and so it's like, anything in progress, that's like the trails, the east side trail, since it's still in progress, goes in the one section, it doesn't get depreciated. But all the stuff that has to go in there, I don't know.
Yeah.
It's probably gonna get submitted, and then what will happen is we're probably gonna have to do some work on it, because I don't know how much we paid for. I know the industrial park we got free, but we have to have a value to that property. For everything we have, like this, the building, I was going off of the insurance for the buildings, because I figure that's what, but we have to depreciate that every year.
2 cents.
So it is,
We just found this out
I know.
when trying to sell Dad Hall stuff is all it was worth at the time of his death.
yeah. I mean, I don't understand the whole thinking behind this with the State Board of Accounts and the DLGF of why they're being, to be so specific on that and what we have, and like the vehicles, you depreciate after 7 years, all vehicles are depreciated.
crazy because we're not subject to tax.
What? I know.
Depreciation.
I know.
Yeah.
It's the only purpose of depreciation.
So like that big dump truck, the other one we had for 20-some years, and it's on this schedule, you have to depreciate it after 7 years, but we'll probably have it for 20-some years.
Yeah, I mean, when you do your taxes.
Yeah.
You depreciate farm buildings and stuff, and, you depreciate it after 0, and you still got it. A plow will last for.
So we have to depreciate all our roads too, our infrastructure. I have no idea, I mean,
You're gonna have to hire somebody, and
You
that's
have
part of the
to.
reason they did it.
Some lobbies,
So the lobbyists has got.
I know.
Electric utility and all those guys got together.
it is absolutely crazy though, yeah,
All the big CPA firms have been to do that.
yeah. Make some good money.
do this. So they do this now.
Now we get that.
That video we can.
Yeah, you